The real estate market has shifted. If you want to know what's going on with the Stockton housing market, then you want to watch this video. We're going to get right into the first slide here. I'm David, this is Richard. We're brokers in Stockton, California. And we're covering the Stockton housing market in particular, but we're finding that a lot of these numbers are county-wide, really, and even through the state of California. Yeah. But this data behind me is just for the city of Stockton. Biggest thing on the screen here, Richard, is what?
By far. This line sticking way up there, this light green line, is the amount of listings. We knew it was coming eventually. Here it is, it's starting. Good thing for the buyers.
That's right. Also on this slide, the red bar going across the screen here, or it's not a bar, it's a line really, are the pending sales of the new homes under contract. That fell in June, which was not really a surprise to me because buyers really are putting the brakes on. The rates or the higher interest rates are surely affecting the buyers. They're scared, they're holding back, and that coincidentally also affected the amount of homes that sold. It dropped from 233 in May to 215 sold homes in June. So
you know, David, I understand being scared of a 6% from a 4%.
Yeah, it's quite a shock.
But remember, 6 is still pretty good.
Yeah, historically, still considered to be a relatively low rate, and they're even retreated a little bit. They're down into the 5s. But with this jump in inventory, I want to jump right into the months of inventory because that slide tells us if it's favoring the sellers or if it's favoring the buyers. Let's take a look. All right, here is the shift in the market. We are shifting into a market that doesn't favor the buyer or the seller. We're at 1.8 months of inventory. It's the highest number we've seen in probably 2 years with the increase of listings. Yeah. So it went from 1.2 months to 1.8. Do you think it will continue to rise?
Yeah, I think it will. But I do also think that the buyers are going to come back out saying, you know what, 6 isn't so bad. Inventory, I have more to pick from. I'm not going to have to do everything the seller says to do. So I think the buyers are going to come back. And I think that might ease up some, hopefully a little bit more. But I also think solds and pendings are going to come back up too. I think it's going to turn into a pretty good market.
Yeah, and just to remind you guys, we've talked about this in the past, but as this number approaches 3, that's when the market is a neutral market that doesn't favor buyer or seller. So technically speaking, we're still in a seller's favored market. Some days it doesn't feel like that because things have changed so fast. But really, we have a lot of buyers putting the brakes on because of the payment shock, the interest rate shock. But really, with the new amount of homes on the market, it's really created an opportunity for them. So if you're able to qualify for that loan, if you're not too shocked with the payment, now's a great opportunity to really buy a house with terms that we haven't seen in a while. For instance, offers were written with all the contingencies removed. You had no protection in your contract. Offers were written with no appraisal coverage or gap.
Rent back.
And you're having to give sellers free rent back. So a lot of those things in a matter of 2 months are now off the table. And it's now back to a more neutral market. So if you're a buyer considering purchasing, it might be time to jump back in.
Most people would call this a more healthy market.
Yeah. All right, another slide here. Let's take a look at what home prices are doing. Are they up, down, sideways? Let's take a look. All right, here behind us is the average sold price in Stockton, and the neutral pricing trend really continues. We talked about that last month. We anticipated pricing to level off. We seem to have probably reached a peak for the time being for quite a while. Last month, the average sold price here in Stockton sold for $485,000, just a tick up from the month before at $474,000. A year ago, we were at $440,000. So it looks like things are leveling off. It has over the last 5 months. So that's probably the trend moving forward here. We'll have to keep a close eye on those inventory levels.
Yeah, and this line here, the green one, this is homes for sale. It's dropping. That seems that looks bad. It's really not. It's just maybe a little bit of reality that maybe people price thinking the market's still going. There's going to be that little drop, and then it's going to line out. And that's a good thing. We're peaking out. It's about time to line out. I think we'll see that in the next few months.
Yeah, lastly, you guys, we have the days on market chart, and we're going to see how quick homes are selling for. Let's see if the high inventory levels have affected that number yet. Let's check it out.
Okay, and on this graph here, we're going to see the time on market. 18 days, yes, up from 13, but 18 days, David, is incredibly low. Markets across the United States, some are even 100 days. We haven't seen anything over 29 days in over a year and a half, so that's still really good. And this other one, sales price versus list price. We're at 101%. You listed at 100,000, it sells for 101. That's still a really good market. Don't be shocked by that. Some of these things that have happened, it's still a real healthy market.
Yeah, even with the increased inventory levels, we showed you that technically speaking, the month's inventory still favors the seller.
Yeah.
This data also still showing favoring the seller with the over asking price and the quick days on market. We'll just have to see if these trends continue. Obviously, the more inventory that comes on the market, the longer things are going to take to sell. But what do you think is the traditional days on market number in a normal, we'll do air quotes, in a normal market?
Normal market here in Stockton,
Yeah.
40 or 50.
Okay. So well above the 30 mark. We have a little bit of ways to go before we transition into that normal market. However, who knows? It could happen quicker than we think. We might be back here next month saying it's happened. So that's what's going on in the Stockton housing market for the month of July 2022. If you want to see more, see what's going on next month, hit that subscribe button right down below if you're on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the market? Which way is it going? Are we crashing? Are we going back up? What do you think is going to happen? Drop a comment down below if you are on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next month.